Welcome to Tantrum House Studio D. Hey everyone, I'm Alan.
And I'm Karen.
And today we're talking about Istanbul the Dice Game by Rudiger Dorn. You may be familiar with the original version of Istanbul, which came out 2014 and won the German Expert Game of the Year. We've had a copy on our shelf for a while, and I recently cracked it open to play. Boy, I kicked myself for not doing it sooner. It's a great game with a lot of strategy and replayability.
There are now several expansions available, and in 2017, AEG released Istanbul the Dice Game to the series. Now, whereas the original game is a thoughtful, strategic Euro-style game, Istanbul the Dice Game relies much more on your luck rolling the dice. While your normal strategies may not work here, you'll still have fun playing it.
Let's go take a look at the components. A two-sided game board, one side for 2 to 3 players and the other for 4 players. Wooden dice assistants, mosque tiles, goods markers and coins, bazaar cards, crystals and rubies, and action summary aids for each player.
The game sets up quickly. Simply place the rubies in the marked areas on the board according to the number of people that will be playing. Sort the goods, shuffle the cards, hand out coins and crystals appropriately, and now you're ready to begin.
A turn consists of 4 phases. First, take all income from any moss tiles you've purchased. Next, roll 5 dice. You can then perform 2 actions according to what dice, goods, and lira you have available to use. After you've completed your actions, pass the dice to the next player. It is now his or her turn.
While this game is largely influenced by dice rolls, there is some opportunity for strategy in how you use those dice. Should you use your goods to obtain those extremely beneficial mosque tiles, which can give you extras like more lira, cards, dice, or actions every round? Or do you try to grab some rubies right away when they're not as expensive? Maybe you should get more lira or a bazaar card instead. They do have some nice bonuses. Perhaps you don't like your choices at all and want to use a crystal to re-roll some of your dice before taking any actions. It just may pay off, but then again it might not. You simply may be limited in your choices and have to settle for getting more goods markers to use at a later time.
The game ends after a round when one player obtains the required number of rubies. For a 2 or 3 player game, an individual needs 6 rubies. In a 4-player game, a person wins with just 5. I really enjoy Istanbul the Dice Game. It has just enough mechanics and gameplay to scratch that Eurogaming itch without getting too deep in the strategy side. In fact, the game has been simplified enough that it's a very fast-playing game. For every regular gameplay of Istanbul, we can probably get in 2 or 3 gameplays of the dice game. It's just that fast.
I really like it too because it is lighter. Sometimes after a long day, I want to play something fun, but my brain just can't focus on anything too deep. This lets me do that. In fact, as I was thinking about this game, and I couldn't help comparing it to like Catan the Dice Game. Now, that is a simple game. I know, apples and oranges. That's much more Yahtzee-like, and there's not much to it. But this has all the fun of a dice game, sometimes the frustration, but you still have a little bit of strategy too, and that's why I'm a fan.
So if you like light dice games or a lighter version of a deeper strategy game, then definitely take a look at Istanbul the Dice Game.
Yes, and don't let the age recommendation intimidate you. For some reason, the publisher recommends this for ages 14 and up, whereas the original was only for 10 and up. I'm not sure why they made the change. Our 9-year-old has played both versions and had no problem whatsoever. If anything, to me, the dice game seems a bit easier.
Now, since you've been comparing both games, Istanbul and Istanbul the Dice Game, you might be thinking that you need to own or have played both of them. Simply not true. Both games are great standalone games. If you want the deeper strategy and up to 5 players, then you can go with Istanbul. If you want a nice lighter kind of dice fest and still have that same flavor, you go with Istanbul the Dice Game. Rudiger Dorn puts out some wonderful games. We own at least 5 of them and have played several more. So if you add Istanbul the Dice Game to your game collection, you will not be disappointed. Welcome to Tantrum House Studio D. Hi, I'm Alan.
I already messed up.
Man, you're like, what?
This is not good for tonight if I'm already messing up.
Man. All right.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go. Ready?
Here we go.
Ready?
I'm still recording.
All right. I'm in a zen zone. I really enjoy Istanbul the Dice Game.
Wait.
What?